A large retail store just canceled a huge order, leaving us with a ton of extra My Pillows. But you know what? That's their loss. I'm going to make it your gain. For the first time ever, you get standard classic My Pillows for wholesale prices, only $14.88. I can't believe I'm even saying that. Only $14.88. But it gets even better. For a limited time, I'm going to offer my entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Upgrade to a queen size My Pillow for just $18.88. King size only $1 more. Get my body pillows for $29.88 and multi-use My Pillows for only $9.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on the screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of wholesale pricing for the first time ever on TV, including my standard size My Pillow, only $14.88. They've never been offered this low before. We have limited quantities at this price, so limit's going to be 10, and once they're gone, they're gone.
With breaking news and political commentary from a public servant, serial entrepreneur, community leader, philanthropist, and American patriot, and a darn nice guy, it's time for the GrassRoots TruthCast and your host, Gene Valentino.
Hi, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Gene Valentino's GrassRoots TruthCast. We're with Nanda Bhagi, who's been talking to us about a number of different topics. In our mini-series we've put together here, 8 to 15-minute episodes over the past 10 or so that are delving into different aspects of business and social, cultural issues, political issues as well. Nanda has a broad base of experience, starting with his high-end experience with Fortune 500 companies, hundreds of millions of dollars he's raised, either in the form of sales or in capital. He's involved in a diverse number of different businesses that became the funding source for these different entities. Now he enjoys the privilege of helping out Donald Trump, getting involved with the state and local issues as well. And one issue, Nanda, we're going to talk about in this episode in the next 8 minutes is our debt. Our national debt, our state debt, our local debt. You can eat this elephant wherever you want, but how do we start thinking in terms of reducing debt? The Democrats don't think in those terms. Democrats think, oh, government will just keep paying you more money to become an illegal citizen, pay your health insurance, give you a cell phone and a free apartment. They'll help you do all these things for free. In fact, stay at home, don't work. And now we're at a point where government's debt is getting so serious that if we don't do something about it quickly, we are at a point of no return. What say you?
Yes. Now, first understand the national debt. So if you look at the last 50 years, we are less than few billion, less than $1 billion in 1950 years ago. And when I entered this country in 2020, early 2020, March 25th, we had a surplus of $5.5 billion. And unfortunately, from March to September, 6 months later, we got into 9/11 situation. And I was one of the luckiest survivor, being late to my work by 15, 20 minutes. I was just standing on the street, Broadway and Fulton Street, watching these horrific incidents. And this put us into a different trajectory, getting into a war with Iraq and Afghanistan. So again, as a defense, we went into this war, but we could have solved this war in few months or few years, not like getting into that for almost 20 plus years or 24 years, 21 years to be exact, and spend 4 trillion on these wars. If that 4 trillion is spent on our infrastructure or created more jobs and getting more legal citizens, more projects, and there are so many ways you can give incentives in the beginning, and you can tax also at the when something is profitable for anybody. So net, this national debt should be taken, by every citizen as if the burden is on their head. If you,
how about a constitutional amendment that says that if there is a budget surplus, you must use the surplus first to pay down debt?
Exactly. That's a point. See, we have 379 adults, percentage of adults out of 333 million, which comes to 200 million people in average. So you can create different economy class 1 to 10, and create some framework and systems in place, and make sure instead of adding $1 trillion interest every year, you pay the interest and you pay an additional trillion back by using the tariffs or using, there are 100 different ways. Well, first thing is a will. If the leader has a will to eliminate this debt, eliminate, not just pay the interest. So if the leader, whoever the president, that the intention should be there first, and belief and experience should be there to wipe out this debt in less than, ideally 12 years, but even if it is done in less than 25 years, that's great, because if we took 25 years to come to this debt, and let's give another 25 years to put back to the surplus. So with that logic, I can write a white paper and give an approach and policies which can eliminate this debt and put us in surplus by 2049 or 2050. So the point is,
to pay down debt completely, and to
yes,
and is it based on incentives for business to bring in revenue, or how are you structuring the pay down?
yeah, pay down basically at the end, the government income should be more than our expenses. So the way you do it is, whether you try to manage $1 million or 100 million or a billion or a trillion, you make sure you have a surplus cash inflow of at least 33%, at least. So, and minimize the expenses to the bare minimum, and create the opportunities to have an income, because today we have resources. We have white gold, which is lithium. We have black gold, which is oil. We have yellow gold as a gold. So we have so many resources. These resources are worth over $250 trillion. 250 trillion.
On the expense side, how about President Trump's idea of eliminating the Department of Education and transferring education and standardizations to the state level, as he did with the abortion issue, but differently in the sense of the standards applying at the state level, and let the states compete like they do for business. Let them compete as well for quality education as part of their portfolio, their complement in drawing you to my state.
No, the exact. See, all this education and all, or like I would say, I won't even put them in the top 3 or top 5, because the first one is the energy independence. The
Yes.
number one category is energy independence. That means manufacture, create more jobs, do the production, do the consumption here, and make the production in such a way it is almost double than the consumption. That way you can export it, and can reduce the imports, and apply the same logic, basically creating more products, creating more services, having more legal citizens. Again, the problem with the illegal is they won't pay the taxes, and we have to, on a humanitarian grounds, we need to make sure they have a shelter, they have a food, they have all the 10 things that a human life needs, and then at the expense of the legal citizens. So the point is, we need to stop our wars, we need to stop our charity, and we need to focus on our, we have such a vast country, vast resources. Encourage the enterprises, encourage the manufacturing, and try to be the number one manufacturing hub in the world.
Nanda
That is the
Bhagi,
vision Trump has got. Like President Trump bring that passion and vision, and his execution. He's not like other politician who talk something, who deliver nothing, who do not do anything. Whatever the 20 things he said, he will make every attempt, every minute of his life. If he really wins and puts back into White House, he will make sure his 20 promises are at least addressed at some level. So that is a kind of a commitment I have seen with him. Whereas other politicians, they do not even have a courtesy to visit their district. They don't even have a courtesy to do something for their district business and district people. So I am actually out of words, where we always look for representative, and we assume that representative is working in favor of our district, in favor of our city, in favor of our city and state. which not, or I would give this challenge to all the 435 congressmen. How many of them really did something for their district? If he's not done, then you have a 2-year time. And if you have not done out of 10 things you're supposed to do, there's no second term. This is not a game where you take 10 years to get an expert and do it. This is a job where you hit the ground running on day one.
Oh,
So
from your lips to God's ears, Nanda Bhagi, this has been a capsuled segment talking specifically about national debt and how you perceive. Folks, he has a great insight on how I thought the debt was unrecoverable, but when you listen to him talk, you get a sense that there could be a plan, and clearly he believes it can happen under Donald Trump. Nanda Bhagi, thank you for joining us on this segment of the national debt on Gene Valentino's GrassRoots TruthCast. We'll be back right after this with our next segment on the battleground states and their issues, demographics and policies, and the wish list right after this.
Thanks for joining us for Gene Valentino's GrassRoots TruthCast. Be sure to like and subscribe, and God bless America.